Chuck, and thank you, Ron and Alex, for that incredible talk. If you didn't see it, you should see it. And to have Angela here, Roman, know how proud, Roman, you must be of your dad, along with your brothers. Thank you. So we went through a devastating weekend in Minnesota. You all know that, Senator Smith, myself, and really our entire state. And we witnessed horrific murders of a good friend of mine, Melissa Hortman, her husband, Mark, and we pray for this speedy recovery for Senator Hoffman and his wife, Yvette. One was shot 8 times, one shot 9 times. I'm not going to go through what law enforcement did here, but it was phenomenal. They were called to the scene of the Hoffman shootings, and then they communicated with other law enforcement at 3 in the morning, got them to other locations. We've now learned he went to 2 places before he shot the Hortmans, 2 additional places, and one wasn't home. The other, he would have shot the legislator, but the cops were there. He ends up at the Hortmans. They arrive just as he's shooting them and murdering them, and then they are able to locate information that stopped the spree and eventually caught him. I would just tell you about Melissa because people would just love her if they knew her. I got to know her as a mom with a child. She had young kids, both going door to door. She was a phenomenal speaker. She got there after being a Girl Scout leader, after teaching Sunday school. She trained dogs for veterans, and she had one dog that was just too friendly to be focused on one veteran because he loved everyone, named Gilbert. She kept that dog herself, and the murderer shot that dog, and her 2 kids, Colin and Sophie, had to make the decision to put the dog down this weekend. I just end with what Colin and Sophie said about their mom and dad last night when they issued their first statement, and in part they said, "They were the bright lights at the center of our lives." And they said the best way to honor our parents' memory is to do something, whether big or small, to make our community just a little bit better for someone else. That's what we try to do every day around this place. That's what Alex tried to do when he walked in that room, what he did with his speech, what we do in ways that are big and small every day. And I hope this will bring people together so we do something more about security, so we bring down the rhetoric, do something about what's going on online. And it was a horrific weekend, but we have jobs to do, and we all know that. And one of them is to engage in civil debate. Not the horror show that we saw this weekend, but to actually debate consequential issues for the people of this country, and one of them is this bill. So trying to work together better doesn't mean you call things out when they're bad, and this bill is bad. It's a big, beautiful betrayal of the American people. It gives a whole bunch of tax cuts to the wealthiest among us on the backs of everyone else. To give you some examples, it lowers the income of the average full-time worker making minimum wage by over $700 while giving nearly a $400,000 tax break to people making over $4 million a year. It increases mortgages for regular people by $1,000 per year because of all the debt it piles on, while spending $400 billion to lower the tax rate for people making over $600,000 a year. It raises interest rates on loans for small businesses by $800 per year, while giving big corporations more than $1 trillion. You all know, you've heard the numbers, kick 16 million people off of Medicaid, and this is all based on the House bill, because we just got the numbers today on the Senate side, which Ron will explain, raises grocery costs for millions, raises costs from energy to education. This is not what the Republicans or Donald Trump promised the American people when they went to the voting booth. This is the opposite. So it is no surprise that in the Washington Post poll that came out today, it showed that almost twice as many Americans oppose this bill as support it. 42% oppose, 23% support. Poll after poll shows 60-some% thinks it does so much for the wealthy, and only like 30% say it helps the middle class at all, and they're right. So instead of rubber stamping this bill, at least 4 Republican senators should stand up, call it out for what it is, and they should start over. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you. Senator Wyden.
Thank you, Leader. And